So I'm braiding my hair, and the reason I call this a braiding tutorial and testimony is because I'm going to show you how to braid your hair in 3 minutes or less. But then I also want to share my testimony regarding how I started braiding. So real quick, I'm going to just show y'all how I braid my hair. So here's one full piece. I typically will split it into two. So same piece, split into two. And then how I do mine is I put a little edge control over the braid just to smooth it out a little bit. And then I start with crochet. So I will actually crochet. So you see here, I'll put the needle through. I will hook the hair, pull it through. And I start out this way because it just makes it easier for me to get it to look smooth and even. And so similar to how I put the edge control before, I'll put some edge control on it to smooth it out. So I just showed you all how I blend in my hair. So this literally looks like a seamless piece, although you can see my real hair right here. But with the edge control, you blend it in and it looks like yours. And then you just put the other piece of hair, you loop it around. So I'll pull it so you can see how it looks. I loop it around like this, and then I cross it, and I bring the other one underneath. This is just how I do it. And then I just keep braiding. And as I braid, sometimes I will add edge control just to keep it smooth because sometimes it'll get a little frizzy. So I'll put edge control on my fingers and I'll just continue to braid it down. It helps keep it smooth. So as you can see, I am braiding down. And then you just keep going. And I just keep braiding. If it gets a little tangled, that's where the edge control comes in. See that little piece? I got it a little tangled up in there, but then you just loop it back in and keep it going. So thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for the ability to wake up. As I'm braiding, I'm praising. I thank God for today. I remember there was a time where I had no idea how to braid my hair. And I said, God, help me braid my hair. And people may think it's funny, but he did. And my skills have improved greatly. As you can see, I am braiding my hair. And I'm praising God. I have a beautiful message in the background called Breakthrough with Prophetess Tiphani Montgomery and the Covered by God team and her guest speakers. And I just feel so blessed. And ironically, how I ended up braiding my hair was by mistake. I ended up going to a salon so I could participate in a fashion show. And the gentleman who put the Texlax in my hair, because he said my hair was pretty thick, and I needed it straightened for the fashion show I was participating in, he convinced me to put a texturizer and relaxer combined in my hair. Well, what ended up happening was not that my hair was straight, kind of, but I also had chemical burns. And so I remember being so upset because I did not get a chance to participate in the fashion show, but I also had chemical burns in my hair and it was so painful. So I was really upset and I didn't get a chance to participate in the fashion show because of the fact that I had the chemical burns. And so they wouldn't be able to do my hair for the show because it was literally scabbing over, and I hate to be gross, but it was like oozing and it was just horrible, 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 horrible. And I thought to myself, what in the world? Seriously? Because I was so excited about that fashion show and I didn't even get to participate. And it ended up making me thank God that it wasn't worse because thankfully the chemical burns healed. But I also ended up praying that night that God would allow me, actually, it wasn't that night. It was a few weeks later when the scabs healed. I prayed that God would allow me to do my own hair so I wouldn't have to depend on someone else to do it, especially when everyone had given me a hard time about doing my hair. The fact that I was not going to be able to participate really broke my heart because it was a show that I was so looking forward to participating in. And I felt like it could have opened up doors for other opportunities, but I guess God had other plans because, and granted, I can't even say if it was God had other plans, but it just didn't work out. But after my scabs healed, I remember praying, and I told my friends that I was going to pray that God would help me do my hair, because I didn't want to keep going through that experience where I had been to braiders, I had been to other salons where they acted like my hair was so unruly and so difficult for them to deal with because it was thick, that I started to lose confidence in how my hair was, that I didn't even want to go to the salon to get my hair done because they made me feel bad about my hair. And so I said, Lord, please help me do my hair. And I prayed, and I went in the bathroom that night, and I literally did my hair. And I know it was nothing but the grace of God, because I had never braided. And you know how they say, like, and let me just say this. I did not get this good overnight. I had to practice. So I had to continue to work that muscle, much like our faith. We have to continue to work that muscle. We have to continue to put ourselves in situations and or allow God to come through in situations where we realize we've come to the end of ourselves. And so I did ask God to help me braid my hair. And this has not been an overnight process. And another hack that will save you time with regard to braiding your hair and or building up your self-esteem. So I can part my hair, but my parts are not as crisp and as clean as the parts that I have here. So you know what I did? I went to someone else and I asked them, could they part my hair, because that was their strong suit. So I said, you know what, let me let them use their gifts. And the fact that I can still braid, and I am just braiding my hair, but I paid someone else to part it for me. So it's real simple, saves you money, saves you time. So needless to say, I know I am not the only one that needed this today. Just a reminder to just trust God. Allow him to use you. Allow him to help you get to where you want to be. And just trust that he will help you and that he will come through. And he came through for me, because I literally had no idea even where to start. And I started doing my hair after that. And so it's been years since that happened. And it was actually 10 years ago, believe it or not. It was 2013. But I don't share that story often. But today I felt led to share it, because as I'm sitting here braiding my hair, I was reminded of how I got to this point, and the fact that, you know, I started doing my hair, crocheting and all types of hairstyles, but it started out of a situation that was not ideal. And so I've just been, you know, doing the best that I can. And listen, like, it was not easy, because I think some of it was I was afraid, and I kept saying what I couldn't do. And God was like, no, stop saying what you can't do and do it. Like, trust me, and you can do it. Like, I know that you can. And so I prayed, and people laughed at me like, so wait, Jesus helped you braid your hair? He sure did. That first time. And then even after that, I got better and better. And I started to try more hairstyles. I started trying crochet and like all types of things. So when I first moved to the Maryland area, I did not have anyone that could do my hair. And eventually I found some individuals that I could go to that could do my hair. But in the in-between time, I really believe that I was graced to be able to continue to do my hair. And that built my confidence. It built my self-esteem. And then I didn't have to worry about how other people made me feel because my hair was different. So I hope that encourages you today. I am on my last braid. Whoop, whoop. So now I'm about to dip it in the hot water, and then I do put some mousse on it. So one moment, let me get my robe and my towel so I don't burn myself. So I've collected all of the braids from the back, and now I'm going to dip it in hot water. I use this type of container, and so I am going to dip the hair. So you see I have on a towel, I have on a robe, and I'm gonna hold this hot water with this, and I just let it go for a little bit, and then I just take my hair out. So I'm gonna let it soak for probably like 20-30 seconds, and then I'll take it out and wrap it with a towel. So now I'm gonna take it out, and I usually will wrap it in a towel, but you see I have on a few towels because this water is boiling hot. You don't have to get it that hot, but I do. So I wanted to show y'all the difference real quick. So this one has not been dipped in the hot water. This side has. So it's just a little crinkly. So I'm going to also dip this side, and then I'm going to put some mousse on it, and then we are done. So my last step is to put some mousse. So you can either put it in your hand and rub it, or you can put it directly on the braids and then rub it down and rub it through. That'll help with some of the frizz, and then you are done. And she is finished. So they're still a little damp, but I am done. Hey girl, you did a good job, girl. Ow, ow. Fresh Braids by T. Don't forget to subscribe and be blessed.